Welcome to another edition of Vigorously with me, your girl Val Kleinhands. Very stoked to get into a number of different things, a variety of different topics on this pod because the jack of all trades are meeting this episode is what's happening. Greg Molina, a Mama's Notice in the building. How are you, sir? Welcome. It's a pleasure.
Great. I'm great. I'm super happy to be here. I love podcasting, so
Yes,
this is right where I'm at home.
yes, you are also a podcaster. You are also a hairstylist. You are also a singer. Which came first?
The singing. The
The
singing
singing.
was the yeah, man, I guess like since I was a kid, I was always singing. My mom was always like, you just love music. And I was like, I do. And then went to my first concert when I was 14.
Hmm.
Like first like actual show. Like I've never been to a concert before, and like our friend was like, "Hey, dude, do you want to go to this show?" And I was like, "Oh, sure. I don't know. I'm just a kid who skates." And somehow I ended up at a Lionheart Warriors, Walls of Jericho, Born of Osiris, and As Blood Runs Black show was my first show.
Hell yeah, that's a lineup.
Yeah, it was a
That's a
fucking
lineup.
line. Most people that hear the story, they're just like, "How the fuck was that your first show?"
You-
Like, Jesus Christ.
I know,
Like,
mine was Spice Girls in '98.
yeah,
Like,
I mean, you would think it would have been that for me, but no, it wasn't. Yeah, no, I kind of just went right into deathcore, and everybody was like,
mm,
"How you doing?" And I was like, I heard them do brace legs into bow down for Born of Osiris, and I was like, I wanted to do that. How do I do that? And then
yes.
they were like, my friend was like, I don't know, nobody knows how to really scream like that. You have to just like learn it. And I was like, all right, well, I'm gonna do it. And now 20 years later, I'm still doing it, which
Still
is
doing it. But do you feel
crazy.
but do you feel like you're still constantly experimenting and learning? Because I hear that from so many musicians that that's like a key part of staying
God,
consistent in doing what they do.
I feel, and I don't really think there's a better way for me to put it. Even when I thought I had figured it out,
Mhm.
um, I got into the studio with our producer, Nick Miller from A Skylight Drive, and he, in the most loving way, beat the shit out of me.
With constructive criticism,
Oh, yeah. It was
not hands.
your timing. You need to work on this. This is neat. I was like, oh my God, I suck. Like, and like I'm still to this day, like it's like I'm not trying to seek his approval, but I'm just like, did I get it? And he's like, yeah, you got it. He's like, actually, yeah, you got it. And I was like, and he's like, next line. And I'm like, oh, here we go again. The horrors persist. Um, but I would be nothing without Nick. He has in the last 4 years has really like blossomed me into the artist that I am attempting to be. And I say attempting because this is everyone trying to attempt music in some sort of facet. We're all attempting to do it in some capacity, whether our goals are different or the same. It is an attempt,
Mm.
and it's a very uncomfortable attempt most of the time.
Oh, we're gonna get into all that because I'm sure being an artist looks a hell of a lot different 20 years later than when you really started to do it, really started to get into it. And I definitely want to ask about that. But
Yeah.
the lore behind A Moment's Notice itself, you guys, you describe yourselves as constantly still learning too. For anybody that doesn't know, give us the lore behind the origin story. How did it all come together?
Um, so originally it was a solo project.
Okay.
Um, and it was actually, funny enough, Suffocate's old vocalist Jared kind of he saw me do a Lorna Shore cover and he was like, and then he like DMs me and I'm like, the
Hmm.
hell is Jared DMing me for? Like this guy doesn't have the time of day to have to message me, but he does. And he's like, what are you doing? You need to be in a band. And I was like, I don't know anybody. I don't do anything. I just work and I've been out of the music scene forever. And he was like, no, you need to be in a band. And I was like, I don't even know where to record right now, dude. And he's like, I got you. Next thing I know, Nick Miller messages me and he's like, hey, what's up, dude? Heard you trying to come in. And I'm like, I guess.
Am I? Okay.
I was like, I
We're
don't know.
voluntold.
I was like, I got voluntold in a sense to like make music, and I was
Right.
like, okay. And we recorded the first two songs together, and I was like really kind of shocked that the first song hit over 1,000 streams, and I was like, and then I was getting messages from the Facebook page, and it was like people being like, hey, like I see it's only two guys, it's more of an internet thing. Like, what do you want to do? Like, do you want to be a band? And I was like, and just had members kind of reach out. And our original guys, unfortunately, none of them are with us other than Sergio. Bless that guy's heart. He's a type 1 diabetic who got COVID and his kidneys failed, and
Oh.
he's been on dialysis our entire career. And even with everything that's gone on in the band, like even like, you know, personal conflict or whatever, like he's just like, nope, I'm rocking it. I'm doing this till the wheels fall off. And I'm like, okay. And even
Apparently
now,
you are if dialysis is involved. Like, apparently
yeah,
you are if you're still doing this in the middle of all that. I mean, that's rare. That's so
it's
rare.
insanely he does it. He goes to dialysis every other day on tour,
Mm.
and he's in pain, and then he like pops like 1,000 milligrams of edibles, and then he's like, all right, I'm ready. And I'm like, weren't you just dying? I'm like, I don't understand. Like, what's happening here, guy? And he's like, nope, I'm here. Let's do this. And I'm like, bro. And
Yeah.
somehow through the member changes and through everything with us, um, it's just been him and I, and we've always just had a constant vision of what we wanted to do and how we wanted to do it. And yeah, I feel like now, like we're like kind of like really catching our stride. We figured out what we want, what we don't want, what our sound wants to sound like, how we address certain things, how we go about the way that we operate as a band.
Hmm.
But all that came with all the hard lessons that we had to learn, and I guess the lore of the band was really just I got bullied into it, and now I'm like here doing it, super happy that I'm involved in music the way I am, and I mean I can't think of doing anything else, and that's why I'm here.
There we go. Okay, so he obviously Sergio knows being a creative, being in a band, that's in his heart. That's what he wants to be doing. I can tell the same from you, just from like what you're doing now, obviously, and the additional jobs. Hair is creative, podcasting is creative, making music is creative. So, at what point did you realize that you had the same calling to do something creative?
I really didn't even I'm gonna be honest, like even when I first started doing music, yeah, I loved being creative and I loved doing stuff. I guess the light bulb didn't hit until we dropped our first record. And
Mm.
and need to remind you, this is what, 17 years into making me 16 years into being like able to scream. Let's just put
Hmm.
it that way. Being able to scream for like the last 16 years, and all of a sudden out of nowhere I'm like, "Oh, cool." And then I was building something. Oh, I was building our RV back room and the bunks and everything. And my bassist was just like, "Dude, you really like just making things." And I was like, I guess I do, huh? And I was like, I guess that's the creativity of me. And then I also work at a bar. So
Yeah.
it's like people are just like, oh, you're just like in like the creative aspect of it. And I'm like, yeah, like cocktails, hair, whatever. I'm like, I just like making stuff happen. Like it's just kind of cool to plug things in where they need to be.
Yeah. One of the ways that I think we do convey that is through communication. Podcasting is one of the best platforms in the world to
Oh
communicate,
yeah.
obviously,
God,
for
yeah.
sure. Tell me about Make Your Mark. That's the pod. Give me a little bit of a taste of what we get when we listen.
So Make Your Mark's whole mission statement is talking about artists and their experiences and trying to define themselves in the music industry, which is a very heavily saturated market.
Hmm.
And just breaking out of the noise and defining themselves, making their mark on the industry the way that they're wanting to make it. And everybody's vision is different. There's similarities everywhere, but there's also different stories and different trials, different tribulations that we all go through. And I've heard some crazy stories, and I've heard some like ones that I'm like, holy shit, how did you go through that? And then sometimes I'm just like, yeah, that's about normal. And then I'm like,
I'll
that
co-sign.
sounds about I'm like, that sounds about right. Like, yeah. And then some of them I'm like, you did what? Like, holy shit,
Yeah.
like that's crazy. So it's like make your mark is just such an it is such a blessing because it was kind of an idea that Soul and I had come up with. And I was talking to him on the phone, and it had been like 3 hours, and I was like, "What are we doing?" We've been
Why
on
is the
the phone for.
microphone not on?
I was like,
Exactly.
"Dude," I was like, "You know, I've always wanted to start a podcast." He's like, "Dude, me too." And I was like, "Holy shit! All right, cool. Like, are we actually gonna do this?" And then like, I think he was getting done with a tour. Yeah, he was going on tour with I think Miss May I
Mm.
because he's in Traders and. Um, we linked up. I was talking to him when he came into town, and then I was like, dude, and I was like, so are we really gonna do this? He's like, yeah, we're doing this. And I was like, sick. So then we started getting people on, and yeah, now we're in season 2 of Make Your Mark, and crazy. Like I like the first year, it just flew by like it was nothing. I mean, some of the rooms and some of the conversations, some of the people's and phone numbers that I have in my phone now, I'm like.
Wild.
How did I? Yeah, I'm like, how did I end up in this? Like, like it's so cool, but it's
Yeah.
humbling at the same time because I hear a lot of the stories and the road maps that they've all gone through, and I'm like, holy shit! And I'm like, this is crazy. Like, there's so many similarities in everything, and it's just different levels of it.
Yeah.
It's really eye-opening as an artist talking to other artists.
I would imagine it's comforting too. It's got to be. Just
Oh yeah.
to hear that, okay, this is normal. This other people have been through this too.
Yeah, like me walking away from music and Mike Terry being like, "Yeah, you can't walk away." He's like,
Mm,
"No matter what you do, it'll always call you back." He's like,
mm,
"It's something in us that is just." He's like, you could try to run, but it's
yeah.
always gonna come. It's always gonna come back somehow, some way. It's gonna come back to some capacity. You're gonna be involved in it. And I
Yeah.
was like, "Damn it, you're right." I was like, "Yeah, you're kind of right." I was like, "There's no walking away from this one, is there?" And he's like, nah, never." He's like, "That'll be you forever."
Yeah, that's what happens with passion. I mean, I saw recently one of the more recent episodes. I saw what you called a hot take, but I didn't quite think it was a hot take because I guess I thought it was universally known. And it was which the take was being a musician is like the most uncomfortable thing in the world. And personally, I get that. It is absolutely true. It is absolutely valid. And I know this from spending a lot of time with other artists, and it wasn't news to me. So, but I was curious if you could elaborate on that. Why did you feel like the fact that everything it takes to be a musician is essentially uncomfortable was such a hot take?
People are like, "You're passionate about it. You love it. It's so amazing, and it makes you feel something." And yes, all that. But I would say that is 3% of what you have to do as an artist.
Mm,
Everything else is you're in the vocal booth and you've got a microphone in front of you and that spotlight's on you and you're sucking and you can't get nothing right. And then you're like you finally get it and you get the song done and then people love it and then some people hate it and you're like whatever, it's done, it's over with. There's nothing I could do about it. But like most people can't public speak. And
mhm.
I'm basically doing that every single night on tour. Like, it's like it's so foreign for people to do things out of their comfort zone, and I say it's so uncomfortable because every step of the way there's a level of discomfort that you have trying to learn Smoke on the Water on guitar, and you're like, I can't make this song happen.
Mm,
Oh, or how do I how do I thump with my thumb on bass and like get it perfect and resonate properly? And you just do that for hours and hours and hours, and it's just like, dude, my hands hurt, everything sucks. Like I'm like spending money on strings, and it's like, yeah, pretty uncomfortable, isn't it? And they're like, yeah, and I'm like, yeah, get used to it.
Yeah. Well, and just
Like,
turning on a camera for some people too. My
oh
God.
God, yeah. Some people,
That
oh my, the amount of people I've had on the podcast that are like, dude, I don't do good in public speaking, so I was really nervous about this on camera, but it's just having a conversation with friends. And I was like, exactly. And that's why I love podcasting, because it's just friends having a conversation. And that's really all it boils down to.
Yeah. So it's you're more so referring to the stuff that's unseen, the stuff that we're not really aware of, the behind the scenes stuff that you don't realize personally some people have to get over to make everything look cool and pretty for the rest of the world.
Yeah. Noah Seb
And fail in public sometimes too.
yeah, like Noah Sebastian has terrible anxiety.
Yeah.
And he's like, I don't go out there and talk to people. My anxiety is killing me the entire time. And I'm like, I feel that. Like
Hmm.
I'm 40 minutes before I get on stage. I'm on vocal rest. I haven't said a single word. I've already done my warm up, and I am not doing anything other than making sure my vocals are warm. And I'm drinking tea for like 40 minutes straight. And people are like, don't you have to pee? I'm like, after.
I
I'm
don't
like,
think about it during.
I'm like, the minute that first metronome kicks in, and I'm like, yep, and go.
This is it. This is the
Grab my
clip.
mic, and do the thing.
Yeah. You got to do what you got to do. And this does kind of tie into what I noticed were some of your thoughts on social media and how, like, today it is absolutely necessary for bands to be comfortable on camera. Another uncomfortable thing musicians have to do. I mean, I'm guessing you and I are pretty close in age, so we know a world with and without social media. But I was wondering from the musician's perspective, did you anticipate that social media or anything like it, the internet in general, would be such an integral part of what it takes to be a band today?
Kind of did, but also I was like, I don't fucking like it. I
Yeah.
came from MySpace. Like,
Right.
I'm like, dude, like, it was so much easier. And I'm like, or maybe I just had more free time. I don't really know, to be honest with you. God, man, I just didn't. It's the I run a page called Nasty Breakdowns as well that I just started. It's for more like meme videos and stuff like that. I'm friends with Jay Muller and Sean Labru, who run Breakdown King and Filthy Breakdowns, and their insight was just like, yeah, just do it. And I was like, all right, cool. So like doing more social media like has, I would say, been a learning lesson for me.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm like, I got to be a little bit more involved on social media. I got to be more involved in my community. I got to be more involved in this and that. And I mean, now like you go on my social media and it's just videos and pictures like galore, and there's no shortage of me posting, which is a good thing. Like,
Consistency.
yeah, like I post a lot. Probably more than the average person. And I could probably do more, but working as much as I do, there's just no, like, I have to get kind of creative sometimes and just like throw content out, and somehow it works and sometimes it doesn't. And yeah, that's just part of the lesson, I guess. Like I just
Yeah.
didn't realize how mu the volume, I guess, of it would be.
Right. Well, because let's come correct here. There is no team behind you doing this. This is you guys. This is you.
Nope. Yep, it's us. When we're on tour, my wife will make the post for us so that we can sleep and do shit, because
Hmm.
we're burnt out. And our whole crew that we have has kind of more or less been with us since the beginning.
Hmm.
Um Same photographer. Um our front of house guy just happened to like do our second or third show and was in a local band out here, and we were like, we really love his sound and we love what he does. And so um we found an X32 online, and it was at a local store, and I called him like instantly. I was like, dude, you need to go get this. And so like we have a team behind us, but it's probably the most DIY team you've ever seen. Like we've cultivated this to really bring a lot of like our friends together and like make something special.
Yeah, you're calling them your friends, not like your team. So this is obviously the product of relationship building,
Yeah.
which in itself is uncomfortable for some people. Was that natural to
Oh
you?
man. No. I was a hermit. I just didn't know how to really talk to people. I didn't know how to do a lot of that like face-to-face stuff and like have the certain amount of etiquette or tact in my voice or things that I said or getting too excited and saying things that may be misinterpreted.
Mm,
Um, there was a lot of hard lessons for me to learn, but they were needed for me to have them. And I like to say that like most of the teachings I got were from people that told me something I wasn't ready to hear yet, and it became a lesson that I learned later on. And then I was like, okay, I get it now. And then I would circle back and rekindle friendships with people and stuff. And it was hard to learn. Um, it's just a different way of, these guys are all, most musicians are pretty burnt out. They're pretty tired. What you see is pretty much the scrubbed down version of what they got left in them. And then they get in the van and they're like, yeah, I've had my AirPods in the entire time. I haven't said a fucking word and all right,
yeah.
drive.
On to the next.
You gone to the
On to the
next.
next.
It's like nobody's saying it was, it was a crazy night and the like it took a lot out of us when like the entire bus is like dead silent and you're just like nobody's saying a single word. Everyone's playing video games or like listening or watching a movie or something. They're just like zonked out and you're just like, yep, yep, that checks out.
We're still trying to process what happened. No, no, believe me, I will throw Mortal Kombat on if I need to like process something that happened in my day or
Hell
something like
yeah.
that. So
Mortal
what?
Kombat's tight.
It's so tight. I love it. That Street Fighter, any of the above. Those are usually my games, my go-to. Super Mario Kart, all that. What's on in the bus? What's on when it comes to gaming or movies usually?
Oh man, I mean, lately I've been playing a lot of art creators. I'm,
Okay.
I'm not, I'm guilty of it. I was the last one in my friend group to get the game.
Okay.
I'm now the one that has the most hours in the game.
Of course.
Not proud of that.
How does that happen, Mr. Four Jobs? How does that happen?
I get home from the bar around like probably 3 o'clock in the morning, and most of the time I'm like playing for like an hour or two before I go to
Yeah,
bed.
because you're still
And
amped. Yeah.
yeah, I'm still wide awake, and I'm like, I'm still from dealing with people and all that. And I'm like, all right, last call, everyone get the fuck out, please. And then I'm like, hey, this is my sixth time telling you. I would love to 86 you if you do not get out of my bar.
Please
Like, I'm like,
close your tab. Yeah.
I'm like, this is me saying goodbye. Like, I want to go home. I have a family. I want to be with them.
Yeah.
Even though it's really I'm going home, I'm playing art graders, and then I'm gonna spend time with my family while they all sleep, and I'm sleeping next to them.
Yeah, that's how we spend time together. Got it. Do you think we're gonna get a GTA 6? I don't
Never,
know. Never?
never,
Really? I
never.
was hopeful. I was hopeful with the ads we were seeing lately. I'm like, maybe.
Didn't they cancel it?
Who knows? I
I,
don't
I thought
know.
I thought I saw something with EA sent, or like whatever they said, like, oh yeah, we're canceling it, and I was like, okay.
That was a lot of to do over nothing. Yeah.
Yeah, that was wow. Okay.
Who knows?
I was like, who knows what they're doing with that game, to be honest with you.
Well, one thing we do know for sure is the fact that constructive criticism has absolutely been helpful to you throughout this entire journey and whatever it is that you're doing day to day. But it's hard to be receptive to that. It's not easy, especially the first couple times you hear it. So, what would you tell somebody that's still getting used to that and still trying to process rejection and understanding that that's all part of the process?
Don't chase the win.
Mm.
Like I always tell people, don't chase the win. I'm like, can you grab air? And they're like, no. And I'm like, don't chase it. They're just words, bro. I'm
That's it.
like, yeah, I'm like, take it with a grain of salt, understand it, live with it, but don't try to chase it. Don't try to chase the validation of that person or whatever. Like, I think action goes a lot further than that. And like, in a sense, it is linear. Like, I've been told that it wasn't, but growth is pretty linear for me. I feel like it's one of those things where, like, if you want to make a change, you can make a change right now and you can adapt it. And not saying it's going to be perfect, but the first 30 days, you're going to really be working on that. And then
Yeah.
after that, it becomes a habit. And then, 2 months in, you're like, okay, cool. But like, it really needs you to like get that, like, I'm in a bad spot right now. And more or less, I think that like people that are trying to understand it, like, yeah, just don't chase the win. Like, just accept the fact that like it's going to happen. Like you're gonna learn lessons. It's not, I mean, I didn't know how to scream properly until I did. I mean, it's just, and even now, I think I still have room to improve. Like I'm like somebody told me the other day that I'm like, how do I get into national touring? Like I wish want to do that. And I'm like, I don't know, man. Write better lyrics. And I was just like, ow, ow, ow. Do I take that constructive criticism and run with it and like all right really like hammer on my like and be like kind of trying to prove it, or do I be like his advice was kind of poop but I see what he's saying
Yeah.
and I'm going to kind of do something off of it, but like screw that guy,
Well,
like
that's just it. It's a checks and balances. It's a filtration system. Like, do I value the opinion of who is giving me this feedback? Do I want to emulate in any way what it is they're doing? If the answer to that is yes, perhaps I will give it serious consideration. That's kind of what I do. Like,
yeah. And
if I
even
want to learn from
so,
that.
yeah, even sometimes I tell people like I'm like yeah cool, you like you look up to them and stuff like that, but like maybe they're just not the type of people you think they are. Maybe they just
Mm,
somehow got lucky. And I'm like, realistically, like you got to find your people and you got to find your camp and you got to build it. And like, street teams used to be a thing, and like those are people that rode for bands. Like, oh,
yeah.
yep, they're playing, 100 people are automatically there, like guaranteed it's gonna happen. So it's just different.
Yeah. Were you tapping into, I mean, the audience that you do have, let's be real, like you do have an audience. So were you tapping into that when you were chatting about what it takes to be part of a national tour? It sounded to me like it was like a call to arms, like, hey, we're trying to make this happen. Let's go. So
Yeah,
what does it take to be on a tour? Like help the non-musician understand why there's so much involved with that.
man. Well, I'm as much as I love Spotify, I also absolutely have a hate relationship with them as well. Um, Spotify's monthly numbers and the amount of streams and everything is very awesome for being transparent.
Hmm.
I agree. Where I don't agree is that it makes it kind of a dogfight. It's everybody trying to chase that 10,000 monthly listeners to get some sort of like base level. All right, 10,000 monthly listeners, that's a good amount. That's when people start kind of taking you seriously. And you want to float around that.
Hmm.
So it takes 10,000 people at least listening once a day to one of your songs for you to stay there. And that's great. Also highly unrealistic if you think about it. People's attention spans, oh, they hear a song, they see a movie, 10 times, they're over it, right?
Hmm.
But I encourage people like if it's a smaller band, listen to that song the whole entire way through. Throw it on a playlist with a bunch of bands that you listen to, and then when that song comes on, you listen to it all the way through, and it actually tricks the algorithm to allow you guys to like hear us with for fans of. And it's like, we've been turned down 15 times for national tours now over the
Mm.
last year.
Based on these numbers, like you're saying they're leveraging these numbers, or that's what makes it legit.
Yeah, it's more so like, oh, they're not there yet, or oh, what do they sell? Like, where have they toured? And it's like the tour options
Mm.
are kind of like the hardest part, to be honest with you. Like, getting on these tours is it's you got to know somebody, or somebody's got to vouch for you, or something has to happen, or like you got to blow up.
Mm,
And that's kind of really it. Like I mean, the trenches, yeah, I've known bands that have been touring actively for 5 years, been on their eighth year of being a band, and they're fried.
yeah.
Like they're like, I don't think it's gonna happen, bro. Like we're gonna get a cool couple accolades here and there, like play Chaos and Carnage or something, and like that'll be cool. But like, is it going to do anything for us career wise? Are we ever gonna see that 100,000 monthly listeners?
Maybe.
You maybe, and you just don't know. And it's like, you have 30 seconds to gain their attention, and you have one song to make them a fan, and that's set. And it's like, and if those people don't stick, those people don't stick. And
Right.
it's really tough right now for artists, and we don't make anything off of streams. So release your music how you want to release it. If people are like, "Oh, you're stream grabbing," and I'm like, "Who's making money off of streams, bro?" I'm
Yeah.
like, "Bro, we're getting 0.004 per stream. Like, it's not like the old days when, like sex, drugs, and rock and roll and money, and money's getting flaunted everywhere. Like, it's not like that. Like, you're not making money off of your record sales. You're making money off of streams, and that doesn't pay very well. And merch is pretty much the only way to really do it. And even
Yeah.
then, you're reinvesting it into Meta ads, Spotify ads, like trying to just pump anybody and everybody to your platform and listen to your music. And then, Spotify's got such a bad reputation with even listeners that now it's like, yeah, there's a lot of people on the platform, but a lot of I would say the metalheads are kind of like Apple Music or something else, and like they don't really like want to give Spotify their money, which is
Mm,
valid, but it the industry has made Spotify kind of like the like just the set standard,
right.
and that within itself it's an uphill battle. You're
Yeah.
constantly trying.
Well, it does.
So,
It sounds like the goalpost constantly moves. It sounds like the list of criteria that it takes to be taken seriously continually grows.
oh
It's
yeah.
it's a lot. And but I appreciate that you do speak so candidly about it, not just here right now, but on the pod. So where does that come from? Does that come from a desire for transparency? Where did the ability to do that come from?
It has got me in more trouble
Ah!
than good. I am very honest. There's something about me, I'm never gonna lie. I just don't lie. I don't. I have no reason to lie to you. If I don't think you got it, you don't got it. If you're like, what do you think about my haircut? I'm like, nope,
Nah.
it's not the one. And like most people are like, God damn. And they're like, yeah, but you're honest. I have friends that even call me and say like, hey man, need your advice. I'm like, you want me to tell you what you want to hear, or you want me to tell you what you need to hear? And they're like, I want the Greg version. And I'm like, all right, well, buckle up. And I'm transparent because at no point do I want you to be like, what's going on in his head? Like, what's he thinking about? I'm
Mm,
like, no, I'm gonna tell you how I feel. Like, even if you don't like it. Like, and I'm sorry, but like I just I don't do non-transparency. And when you say something, stay with that.
that's right.
Hey,
Stay on with this.
I'm not a fan of this band. Okay, I'm not a fan of that band. I wasn't a fan of that band, but now I am. Okay, cool. Or, hey man, I'm gonna do this for you. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do all that. It's gonna be great. All right, cool. Well, be about that. Be a man of your word, or woman, or
Yeah.
whatever you identify as, and be truthful. Say what you're gonna say. Be transparent, and don't worry about hurting somebody's feelings, because if somebody's asking for that transparency, they're more likely like ready to hear the bad and the good.
Yeah.
And a lot of my friends have now been kind of like the people that are like, "Oh yeah, hey, I'm actually calling you for your nitty-gritty advice."
Yeah. At the
Rather,
very least, they have the desire to grow. That's what that shows.
yeah. And I mean, I've had friends be like, "Dude, why are you so fucking mean? And I'm like, I'm not mean. I'm just really fucking honest, and I just cannot sugarcoat anything. I'm sorry. I'm like, I'm sorry. Like, if you're a band that has 4,000 monthly listeners and you can't pack 100 people into your local venue, you're not trying hard enough. And they're just like, wow, hot take. And I'm like, I mean,
Have you met me?
I'm
Or
like, or like, like a band sells 5 tickets. And I'm like, not okay. So all of you only have one friend?
Mm,
You only have one friend on your social media? I'm like, I highly doubt that. You guys have so many people on your social media. Blast them all. Same message, even maybe, copy paste it and just blast them out. I'm like, if you can't get 50 people to your hometown venue that are your friends, you're not doing it. And I've said that to people and they're like, well, that's kind of messed up. And I'm like, is it? Or you just don't have solid people around you? Like, you got to cultivate this. You got to make people want to come see you. And even if they don't think they want to come see you, you got to kind of force them to see you. And then
yeah,
they're like, oh, I got to come to the next one. You bring them in and then you show them why they're there.
right. Part of it might be the realization that, oh man, now I know I have to do something that I'm uncomfortable with to get to where I want to go. And someone just laid it out plainly for me. And now I'm having that realization and it's hard.
Yeah, I
Hard to let
mean,
do that.
yeah, probably, to be honest. I mean, for me, like I said, I'm pretty candid about it. And I'm like, hey, man, if you can't sell 10 tickets, man, you're probably not going to play here.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna add you onto a bill with me. I'm like, sorry.
No, I feel you on that. And I've heard the same thing. We were talking about merch a little bit ago too. I've heard about how important and how increasingly important just selling merch at the show becomes for any band. Whose idea was it to do the Stranger Things Demogorgon themed merch? Because that was genius. Yes. Okay. There
I
we
was
go.
like, I was like, man, we're playing with Less to Suffer. I kind of want a new t-shirt. I want to do something limited, and I was like, I really don't know what to do. And then I was watching Stranger Things, and I was like,
Yes.
I has an idea, guys. And they were like, let's hear it. And I was like, I shot them the idea, and they were like, yo, I'm kind of here for that. And I was like, hell yeah. Another person who's with us, a friend of mine, Kendall, from formerly of Dead Crown. Now he's in another band called Six Below. And yeah, he's been doing our merch designs forever.
Mhm.
For like the last 4 years. And I just hit him up and was like, hey man, I got this idea. And he was like, say less, Demogorgons, let's go. And then I was just like sick, and he sent us over the design, and I was like, hell yeah, dude. So
Let's
yeah,
go.
Kendall's great. I love him. I've been working with him for years, and I can't think of anybody else I would want to work with.
Oh, that's so cool. And last season, obviously the final season, fan freaking tastic. Will's moment where he finally steps into his power. That was all I needed to see. That was I've been the
Oh
biggest fan of
yeah.
him. That I've been the biggest fan of him like really the whole time, honestly, but that moment was so satisfying as a fan.
Yeah, dude, I kind of got a little like in my feels like when he finally was like, "Hey guys, I'm gay," and I was
Yeah.
just like, "Yeah, bro, everybody, I think everybody knew, but like at the same time, I'm like, good for you, get out
Yeah.
there, go
Yeah.
speak your piece in a time that was really it wasn't as like accepted."
Well, especially if you think, yeah, if you think about, okay, this is the 80s in the Midwest. Like, let's put that in perspective. You're absolutely right about that. He's literally and figuratively stepping into his power, just like by taking on Demogorgons on his own, coming out, that whole story. That was incredible. Just all the
Yeah,
characters. I'm gonna miss it.
I loved it. Oh yeah, definitely. I'm definitely gonna miss it, and I will definitely probably rewatch it on tour just because it's like, hey, it's a great show. But like, I'm also a Star Wars person too, so like, people are like, I hate the new Star Wars, and I'm like, I'm just glad we get more Star Wars.
Why
Like,
do people there are so many opinions about like episode 1 sucks and anything after also sucks. Anything previous is fine. Like there is gatekeeping happening in the Star
yeah,
Wars world.
I don't. People people want what they want, and I understand it, and like, good for them. Great. I'm just happy I get to consume more of what I was enjoying to some capacity,
Mhm.
even if it's not my cup of tea. Like I love early Devil Wears Prada. Love it. Everything up to the, the oh my God, Zombie ZP.
Mm.
I thought was like top tier metalcore. It was done beautifully and I loved every second of it. And then the newer stuff came out and I was like, and I wasn't really bought into it. Recently I've gone back and like kind of listened to a lot of it and I'm like, okay, I get it. And I get why the progression had to happen the way it did and I can see what they were doing and I'm like, okay, I get it and I enjoy it and I'm here for it. Um Now would I, if you asked me to stream it over the Zombies EP, would I? Probably not.
Right.
Because that was like I still use that album to now explain. I'm like, yo, like I want to write music that punches people in the beanbag like this music. And they're just like, got it. And I'm like, yeah, you just Zombies EP was hard right out the gate and literally like the Divorce product everybody was like, this is gonna be the new sound. I'm here for this. And then they switched up on us and I was like,
Total 180.
no. I was like, it was so good.
But I still love you for what you were. Oh yeah, I get the side eyes for still buying Motley Crue tickets. I don't care. I don't care.
Yeah,
I
man.
know I know it's not the same. I know that. I'm going into the purchase understanding this. I don't care. I'm just there to
Yeah,
enjoy a vibe.
exactly.
So at the time we're talking, I mean, obviously, big reason why you're going on tour at all. We're about a month into the release of Fear and Loathing. So what was the biggest challenge involved in making this record?
Four members quit while writing that record.
Okay, that's gonna change it up and cause a lot of rewrites and extra time.
Yeah, and a lot of money.
Oh boy. Okay.
We tried to keep consistency with the sound. Some things are a little bit off in the record. Agonvale was wrote in less than 24 hours, technically,
Wow.
vocally.
It always happens that way. Like some of the best is just written in like 10 minutes or so, like I've
It
heard.
was, yeah, this whole record was just really, it was a challenge for me to do 10 songs.
Hmm.
And there was a lot of learned lessons that came with that. And I think I learned a lot about myself throughout the record. Um, just the way I handle things and everything. And, um, now that we're looking at the record and I look back, it's kind of just insane to look at it and realize Lotus, our first EP, had, you know, 80,000 streams on it when Fear and Loathing started dropping, like single by single. And before the full length record came out, it was at 240,000.
Yeah.
So we tripled the amount of streams that we got,
Yeah.
which was wild to think about. I just could not believe that. I was like, I don't see the growth personally because like I'm in the shit, I guess if you could
Right.
say. But I'm like, we 3x'd our numbers and like it's still growing. I'm like, okay, cool. Like
Yeah.
that's awesome.
That's something to be
Um,
proud of. Huge thing to be proud of, really. I mean,
yeah.
and that's probably the thing you're most proud of the record, I would guess. And the fact that it's just done.
Yeah. More so of the it's done because I love recording and I also hate recording because I'm not very good at it. And I'm great vocally from what my producer says, and he's like, "But your timing," and I'm like, "I know, I know, I know." And then I heard Ollie Sykes talking about it. He's like, "Fuck, my fucking timing," and I was like, "Yep, I felt that. I felt every inch of that," and I was just like, God, dude, because I do that when I'm at home trying to like pre-pro some vocals. And like even with this record, I tried to do that and I would just be like just throw my fucking headset and I'm like, God damn it. And then my wife's like, you good? I'm like,
Maybe.
I'm gonna go smoke a joint before I fucking go back to that computer. I need to relax. Like, Jesus Christ. And I'm like, I just can't get this stupid line right, and it's driving me crazy. And I'm like, and the pattern doesn't work, and like it feels off. And then I like re-listen to it, and I'm like, yeah, I love that take. And then I do the next line, and I'm like, damn, I hate that take. And it's just, dude, it was an uphill battle. It was it was brutal, and I'm learning how to get better at it. I'm practicing as much as I can with everything, but man, that record was whew, not easy.
No. So, for someone that doesn't know, when you're talking about timing, are you talking about just like staying on beat, metronome, clicks? What does that mean?
Okay. So timing isn't necessarily just on time.
It's not literal. Okay.
It's it's like the ebb and flow of the way that the vocals punch in on certain points of the metronome. And if it comes, like let's saying like a 1, 2, 3, 4.
Inflection and cadence. Okay.
If I were to go 1, 2, the one is totally messed up. Like you got to redo that. You
Mm,
can't. You got to punch in right, and it has to be syncopated with everything, and have to make sense, and have to feel. It has to feel very like normal. Like
mhm.
it's so hard to explain, and I don't think there's ever really. I've never had it explained to me good from any musician. Even when I'm like, hey, like, how do you work on timing? They're like, you just got to do it, and I'm like,
Thanks.
thanks. I'm like, fucking no help at all. I'm like, God damn it. I thought you, and they're like, I don't know. I just kind of came second nature. And I'm like, well, it doesn't to me. I can do the thing. I just can't do that thing.
Hmm. Yeah,
But it was, yeah, it's still work in progress.
I
I'm
got it.
gonna, I'm gonna get there eventually.
Well, this is probably where just trusting your producer comes in. And like they'll tell you and you trust them well enough, you just go with that. That's your guide.
Yeah. And sometimes I can hear it.
Mm,
Like sometimes I think it's like a training your ear kind of thing. You have to really just train, like really just learn it. And I'm just like, yep, I'm gonna suck at this until I don't. And then once I unlock that, then I'm gonna be like really good, and I can just come in and punch in vocals and
yeah.
not have to do 1,700 takes.
Yeah. Ugh, I can't wait to hear what's next though. Like particularly from August on, I know you're gonna start to be pretty busy. So after that, once we get through that, what does the future look like for a moment's notice?
Well, currently we're writing our next record. Um, we wanted to kind of get a head start on it before we start touring and start getting out on the road and doing what we do.
Hmm.
Um, Man, yeah, it's just there's a whole bunch to it, and we've got 2 tours booked right now. We had 3 studio sessions already. Um, Potentially scrapping the songs, reworking them.
Okay.
We were gonna try something, didn't work. Try something else, also didn't work. And now we're just trying to like figure that out. So trials, figuring it out.
That's the essence of everything we've talked about it today. That is a mic drop. Greg, thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for giving us the insider look on what's going on and how to get through all the struggles as a musician. I appreciate your time.
Yeah, dude, I appreciate you.